In this video, we'll cover the registration tab and functionality of VXVue software. There are three subtabs: unscheduled, scheduled, and reserved. We will begin with unscheduled. There are various prompts under the unscheduled tab for patient information to be entered, such as patient ID, owner's last name, pet's name or first name, age, position performing the examination, study description, and patient comments. Study description and patient comments will be displayed under the database in the future so that you can actually see why these examinations were required. The description can be things such as limping, congestive heart failure check, pregnancy check, hit by car. Patient comments are things such as must sedate, needs muzzle. Once patient information has been entered, if a patient's ID has been utilized before, pressing the tab key will prompt you with the patient information. In this case, we want to use test. Once that patient's information has been entered, you can hit Start Study, and you will be taken to the Exposure tab to acquire images of that patient. The other functionality in this unscheduled registration page are Add to Reserved and Emergency. When a patient's information has been entered in, and you click Add to Reserved, it will say succeeded to add the patient to Reserved. This is a signal that this patient has now been entered into the Reserved tab. The Reserved tab is a way to use a pre-registration functionality of the software, i.e. you go to Unscheduled, enter in the patients for that day, add them to Reserved, then when you're ready to acquire those images, go to the Reserved tab, hit Today, find the patient that has been registered for today, and hit Start Study. You will then be taken to the Exposure tab to acquire images. This is typically used in larger practices that are coming in the morning and pre-registering their patients for the day that they know that will be required to acquire x-rays of. The Scheduled tab is actually a way to interact and interface with practice management software. This is done through Modality Worklist. We are often asked if we integrate with practice management software companies. The answer is yes, through this Scheduled tab and through what's called Modality Worklist. If Modality Worklist is available, this tab functions just as the Reserve tab. It will pre-populate from the Modality Worklist and show different patients' names. You simply click that patient's name, click Start Study, and it will take you to Exposure mode. The final button that we will cover under the Unscheduled tab is the Emergency button. The Emergency button can be utilized if a patient's information is not known, or if the patient is an emergency and needs to have images acquired immediately without waiting to get the information from practice management. Upon pressing the Emergency button, you are taken into Exposure mode, and a patient is created under the name of Urgent Patient with an ID of EM- the date and time that that patient was created. And then you were able to take images in the Exposure tab.